Throwaways of Reddit, have your stories posted here ever been uncovered by family/friends/spouses? How did it turn out? I used a throwaway to look for help when I realized I was raised in a cult. I was terrified that my wife, who was also a member, would leave me if she found out that I was doubting. Well, I'm no espionage expert and she found out. It turned out she was feeling the same way as I was. Fast forward a couple of years and we're both out of the group, and working towards freedom. There's a lot of family pressure and recrimination, but that's okay. Therapy, constant dialogue and mindfulness are helping heal us. We both ended up using the r/xju subreddit to help figure things out, so thanks Reddit. You saved us both. Edit. Wow, so many upvotes and comments, my most successful post ever. Thanks for all the interest everyone. I used a throwaway once to tell a hilarious story of when I used to work at a doctor's office, and met a patient with an unusual medical problem. I was on a date a few weeks later and the guy told my story back to me, but said it had happened to him, instead. It was like a hilarious game of telephone. His version was slightly more elaborate, with a few small things changed to make it even funnier. The fact that I didn't seem shocked by the punchline threw him off a little bit, though. Not exactly the same, but I posted some pictures of CAD details, call notes from ambulance calls I work on what I thought was a private album, that were humorous. They got picked up by someone several months later and circulated all over the internet. The only identifiable information in any of them was my unit number, no patient info or addresses, just humorous notes. Luckily my boss was very cool about it. I unfortunately had to sweat for like 24 hours until I met with my boss. Worst feeling ever. Edit. Since so many people are seeing this, I would just like to plug the First Responders Children's Foundation. They are a charity who provides scholarships to the children of first responders, of all sorts, not just fire, EMS, or Leo, who died in the line of duty or made permanently disabled. Yes, actually, I had registered an alternate account to ask a private, family-related question about an abusive situation between myself and a close relative. They just so happened to stumble on it in the Reddit feed, and they knew it was me right away because the details were exact enough for them to make the connection. I was quite embarrassed when they told me in person, but at least they recognized that what they were doing to me was wrong. Fully 95% of the participants took my side. Got found out that I post a lot of porn. We have raunchier sex now, it's great. I used a throwaway to post in a forum about some struggles I was having in my marriage. We'd been married for a little over a year at that point. The ladies there gave very helpful advice, but when my husband found it, he was very upset. I definitely phrased things less carefully than I would have if I knew he was going to read it. After a couple weeks, he asked if I'd be willing to meet with a marriage counselor. The counselor asked what advice the forum had given me, and when I explained, he was a bit shocked. You actually got some pretty great advice from the internet. Carrot, are you still together, Toe? Yes, and much more happily. Literally thanks to Reddit and its reading suggestions. Lol. My sister claims to know my account but hasn't ever mentioned anything I've ever posted, so maybe bluffing. My husband is a lurker, posts maybe once a year. I know he checks on me and will drop shit I've posted in conversation. Annoyingly, I can't remember his username ever. Babe, you out there? I'm here, babe. Oh, I lost some of your nudie pics. Mind if you PM to me again? Thanks, honey. See you tonight. I'm husband also. Nudes Plaza. I made a very detailed post on r/raised by narcissists using my main account, which has my first name in the username. A few days later, a family member sent me the link in a Facebook PM and asked if it was me. I said no and then deleted the post anyway. Nothing more came of it, but after someone found my FetLife account and linked it to my mom, I didn't want to take any chances. not a story but an additional question. There are always people posting on r/relationships with specific problems, like I told my wife that her sister looked mad hot in her dark blue Topshop dress, and include details like the town they live in and the fact the wife is a 164.3 centimeters tall, 32-year-old hairdresser and they are a 34-year-old delivery guy. Then they state the names are changed because their wife is a Redditor or even subs to relationships. Are any of those people here? Did you get caught? Did you really think changing a few details would work? If people are smart, they put in phony details. I'm too scared to post anything, because a previous post, not on Reddit, was uncovered, screenshot and sent to my partner. It didn't cause any issues like they were probably hoping, but made me feel like nothing I post is safe anymore. It's taken away a huge outlet. On the other side of this question, a friend of mine and I are avid hobbyists of a specific hobby. The friend doesn't use Reddit and can barely navigate Facebook. Ex-Mormon thinks the internet will corrupt you. I noticed one day that there was a post to the relevant subreddit of a young guy showing off some very distinct equipment he borrowed. I walked over to my friend's office and asked him about his equipment. Turns out he let someone borrow it. I pulled up the Reddit page and we both laughed about how famous his equipment had become as soon as he lent it to someone else. I showed him how easy it is to snoop on someone. Friend is paranoid about the internet. It was fun having a glimpse into an acquaintance's life by viewing the account's post history. He had posted to multiple subreddits talking about the equipment and how much it was helping him with the hobby and related hobbies. We stopped laughing when my friend scrolled down and found pictures of the young guy's dick with a paragraph detailing his fetishes. Edit: I am not identifying the hobby, just look at the theme of the thread. Think something along the lines of a unique telescope, bird watching equipment, or a specialized tool that attracts specific wildlife like butterflies or small adorable mammals. Something wholesome and nature-oriented. The acquaintance posted to one of the hookup subreddits, whatever one includes things like M4F, or male looking for female, and a subreddit where you just straight up post your dick, gone wild maybe? He apparently didn't know why you would use an alt account. Nope, never been discovered. I changed all the names and even some of the ages/time periods in my posts. Even if I do get discovered, I feel like my stuff is pretty mild compared to most people. I'd say my wife is aware on some level of almost half of what I've posted already. I use this throwaway, technically it's an alt, more to hide from other editors than from my family and friends. The other guys in my gaming clan who I chat with here on Reddit really don't need to know a damn thing about how I lost my virginity or any of my boring fetishes. It'd make for a super awkward few weeks on Discord chat, and while I would be able to deal with that long term, why freaking bother if I can avoid the hassle so easily and just use a separate account to post smut? I wrote Gone Wild stories about how I slept with my roommate and they got way more popular than I ever thought they would. She eventually became my girlfriend and I deleted the stories and my account I posted them on. But someone else copied the stories and posted them on an erotic stories website. I made the mistake of not changing her name very much, and it's not a very common name, and also said where we live. Someone we know worked it out, it was about her and I, and showed her the stories. To start with, she was kind of mad because not everything I wrote about her was nice, especially the early stories. Then she admitted she thought it was hot reading what I had written about our sex life and how our relationship developed. But yeah, she was pissed off about it for a while and would use it against me in arguments. Eventually she got over it though, and we're still together. It's how I became Professor Douche Canoe. I posted about something that happened at the university I taught at. I wasn't a professor, but people make that mistake all the time. Anyways, I tell the story and I guess the context wasn't clear. It was a long time ago, so I only half remember what was said, but this kid responds with a 100% accurate guess as to the school I was referring to, the class I was teaching, etc. And he ends it with, "And the professor sucked so much dick I hated him." And the professor was me, I guess. However, I told the story, that part wasn't clear. But I'm freaking out cause all the beautiful anonymity is gone. So I just responded with, yeah, the professor was a total douche canoe. And that seemed to end the thread. So last time I told this on Reddit, a ton of people tagged me as Professor Douche Canoe. So I just went the extra mile and got a tattoo that says that. I feel as if I was born for this question, but even my main account has never been uncovered.